Anna Charles here. I'm a sponsor for a website exclusive for Tarpon Springs, and I sponsor, or I like to feature, local businesses from Tarpon Springs. I'm here today with the proud owners, Ginny and Chris Aloise. And I'd like them to share this wonderful gem that's in downtown Tarpon Springs with you. So would you like, thank you by the way for having me come here today.
Absolutely.
Would you guys,
thank you for the invite.
Thank you. Would you guys like to share a little bit about your restaurant?
Sure. Well, my wife and I lived in Europe for 17 years, and when we came back in 2014, one of the things we always talked about doing is putting sort of a little bistro together. We're sort of foodies. We'd always loved going out in New York to different bistros and restaurants and experiencing different tastes and different cultures. And so we brought a little of that back to Tarpon Springs from our travels and living abroad. And we created a menu and a space in downtown Tarpon Springs, right in the historic area, right behind the Greek church on Hibiscus Street. That gives a little bit of a European flair, and people that have come in to experience this with us, they always mention they feel like they've stepped into a European type of place.
That way. Little
so I think we've
European cafe.
kind of accomplished a little bit of what we set out to do, which is very positive, and we're now in our fourth year. And we still have new people experiencing and coming into the bistro that live in Tarpon for many years, and the little street here has really grown over the last couple of years in terms of popularity and getting known, sort of kind of helped, I guess, put it on the map in opening up our bistro.
And why did you choose Tarpon Springs?
Well, it actually goes back to family. My mother's best friend is a retired school teacher here in Tarpon Springs, and they met in 1958 in White Plains, New York. So they were starting out their families, and we met them. Well, my mother met her in White Plains in the late 50s, and their children and myself and my siblings, we sort of all grew up together. So they moved back here in the late 60s, and when we'd go on vacation, we'd come to Tarpon Springs. And I think the first time I went crabbing in Howard Park was 1969.
Wow.
So the history goes way back to family here and vacationing here. And then my parents actually moved down here for 9 years. 9 years, I think it was. And they lived right next to Tante Joyce, so they were like neighbors then for almost a decade. And they're still snowbirds. They still come down in the winter and enjoy Tarpon Springs. And when we decided to come back to the United States, we were like, well, where should we go? And Tarpon Springs came to the top of the list, and here we are.
Okay, good. Do you think a lot has changed in Tarpon Springs over the years?
Oh, the development, sure. I mean, I don't recall everything from way back as a child, but the family that's here and has seen the developments and the growth of downtown and what's happening here in the area. It's been pretty wonderful.
Okay, why did you choose the restaurant business?
Well, it goes back to, I think, the passion. I mean, we met in Stamford, Connecticut. I was in the restaurant business at that point. I started my career in the restaurant business.
Oh, okay.
And I was retail. We met in the mall.
We met in the
Is that
Stamford
where
Mall.
your establishment was, or your business?
It was, yeah.
Okay, in the mall.
It was in a mall in Stamford, Connecticut. And then I opened up a second location in downtown Stamford. And it's been a passion. It's just been a passion, cooking and love of food and yeah.
We had a gourmet group when we were living in Connecticut, and all the guys did the cooking, the girls did the presentations, and so yeah, we constantly, it's always been Plan B. It's always been
It's one of those things you want to tick off the box, I guess you could say.
Yeah, that's very nice. So what do you think is most unique about this town?
I think what you have here in Tarpon is you have an influence of a lot of Europe because of the Greek community.
Yes.
So you bring all those cultures together from Europe. Greek is obviously the dominant culture here, but you have that flair. You have that knowledge of the European sort of Mediterranean feel.
Yeah.
And I think that's pretty evident here in town, and I think that makes it really unique compared to other just towns that have an incorporation or what have you. I think you have a really interesting influence because of that.
We also get a lot of German a lot of Dutch.
Yeah.
I never thought I'd ever use my Dutch language again, thinking
wow.
and we have quite a few
Yeah.
that come in and have become loyal
One is,
regulars.
one is an artist here in town.
Oh, okay.
Annika, she's part of the arts community, and one of the artists that's at the little shop down the street. And we have their artwork presented here as well. So they come in and exchange every couple of weeks. They exchange the art, and she and her husband Case come in on Thursday nights after they run the store and come in for dinner, and we get a chance to practice some Dutch. It's kind of nice.
Yeah, that's nice. That's nice. Okay, touch upon your menu. It's very different, right? I mean, you're about olive oils and different things like that. So tell us about how that works and what a customer expects when they come in, or what do they expect to see when they come in?
Right. So our tagline is a tasting experience, and the reason for that is behind us here in the stainless steel Frosties, they're all olive oils and balsamics, and we work with a number of different importers and distributors. And when people have a meal here, they actually get to experience and taste the different olive oils and balsamics. So the flavor coming out of the kitchen is pretty good, I have to say. It's pretty good. And then what the servers and my wife do is they actually enhance the flavors of the food by adding different balsamics and extra virgin olive oils to bring out even more flavor in the dishes.
So like there's no salad dressings, so we don't have ranch, we don't have French, we don't have blue cheese. So my girls, I have trained them to, depending on talking to the customer and saying, do you like savory, do you like sweet, do you like fruity? And then they create a dressing for a salad, for their main meal, for dessert too. We go all the way through desserts with olive oils and balsamics.
Do you choose the olive oil that you think enhances the food?
Yes.
So you don't leave it to the customer?
Right.
No, usually we ask them a lot of questions.
Yes, what they like.
What they like, but most of the time we've developed the taste because Chris will come up with something, then it'll come out to the front, and we'll do a little tasting and say, yeah, that one. That one is the one that's going to bring that up to the next level. So,
Oh, okay. What is the most popular dish or olive oil flavor on the menu that people like?
I would say there's several, but the ones that our basil olive oil is one of the best basil olive oils I've ever had, and customers too. The other one is going to surprise you is citrus habanero.
Oh, okay.
It's a
Wow.
little
Yeah.
spicy,
Yeah, a little-
but it can enhance just about every dish we have.
There's a couple of different layers of heat that it brings to it, which is really interesting.
I mean, it can go with seafood, it can go with our goulash, it can go with an African chicken stew that Chris makes that is unbelievable. He can't make enough of it.
And did another
And
20 quarts yesterday. We also put everything in our freezer, so it's actually available for retail sale. So we have customers that come in and buy quarts of soup drones and stews and so forth. Our marinaras and the meatballs and the different sauces and the pestos. We make all of that for retail sale available as well.
Oh, wow, that's good to know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Very nice. Do you have any special features that you offer to customers, like daily specials or entertainment or anything like that?
Well, we always have a sort of special soup or stew of the day, and we don't have a big pot in the back where there's 4 or 5 different. It's one particular one. It's made from scratch. Everything is made from scratch, and then when it runs out, the next one comes on board. So it's a constant changing of specials as well. Different raviolis, different sauces. We have a lemon orange ricotta ravioli right now with Grand Marnier sauce that is unbelievable, really, really flavorful.
That could end up being a permanent.
Yeah.
That's what happens a lot is like, we'll test them. Like, let's see if people like it. And then if it becomes popular, like his Hungarian goulash is so popular that it's now on the main
It
menu.
became a staple.
Oh, wow.
Because people said, please don't take this off the menu.
And it's 95 degrees and people are outside and it's hot and they order Hungarian goulash and
my
it's just
gosh.
amazing. It's just amazing, but it's what it is.
Yeah.
And we also have, so for entertainment on Friday and Saturday evenings,
Yes.
we have live jazz at the Bistro.
Nice.
And Dan and Wayne have been with us now over a year, and about almost a month and a half ago we added on Saturday evenings as well. So Friday and Saturday evenings we have live jazz. Dan plays the string bass, and Wayne goes back and forth between the clarinet and the sax, and you get this really cool acoustic vibe in the Bistro. So it's a really fun place to enjoy an evening. We've created a special tapas menu as well, so we have not only our dinner menu, but we also have tapas and wine. So people come in and have tapas and wine. We just added kawa coffee as well. So now we have espresso and cappuccinos and lattes and macchiatos. So people are coming in that might have dined somewhere else, but they'll come in and listen to jazz and have dessert and a coffee here as well.
Okay. What is your favorite dessert?
Ooh. I don't know. I think it's still for me. I think it's still our cheesecakes.
Yeah, it's my favorite is the chocolate Guinness cheesecake. It's unbelievable.
But we do have these incredible brownies that our baker makes in the back, and she uses part of our blood orange olive oil, so she enhances the flavor with orange zest and that, and then you can have it a la mode, and then a drizzle of a orange Chardonnay, a wine jelly that's made by Amber down in Palm Harbor.
Oh, okay.
So it's very unique. We try to enhance flavors with everything that we have.
And the menu is very different. You're not going to. We try to create something that you couldn't find everywhere else.
Right.
So you can't get chicken wings here. You can't get mozzarella sticks. You can't get gator bites. You don't have any of that. You know,
Right.
we do something very, very different. And I think that's part of what's unique about what we've established here.
Well, it seems like you know a lot about enhancing flavor, and that's great. Is there anything else you'd like the residents of Tarpon Springs to know about you or your business?
Come downtown and explore Tarpon Springs.
Yes,
There are a number of
definitely.
fine shops and restaurants here in Tarpon. If you haven't been here in a while, there's quite a bit that's changed. And come and join us.
Okay, well, thank you so much for having me today.
Thank you.
And please come down, if you haven't already, to All of the World Bistro on 24 Hibiscus Street, Tarpon Springs, downtown. And check out my website, parkbench.com/Tarpon Springs. And if you know anybody who would like to be featured on the website that has a Tarpon Springs business or even a resident, check me out. Thank you, and until next time, Anna Charles.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.